Was
Police
this
reporting
the
an emergency?
lady that while or like a few days before the kidnapping was making videos on like how to not get kidnapped and like stuff like that, and how to not have your kids kidnapped and things like that, right? I think that's what happened.
Here in Petaluma, and a couple tried to kidnap my children.
What the best description you can recall?
Like she was making TikToks before.
Are you
Like
or
right
your
before,
husband?
same hat on.
I mean, like important people for some reason. Is there something they would be like? We're gonna take your kids and hold them to ransom,
I
or
might be bi. My kids are very good looking. I don't know. It's hard. I want to like be. No, I want you to take your time. I really do want to be 100% sure because I do not want to falsely. No. Anything. No. I don't want to misrepresent what has happened. I do think it's important for parents to be aware, but I don't.
Got it. I think.
Like, it makes me a little uneasy that you guys are getting blown up about this.
Katie Sorensen, an aspiring momfluencer, calls 911 to report every parent's worst nightmare. As her follower count skyrockets, the community grows outraged, and investigators are placed under immense pressure to quickly solve the case. But as they dig further into the investigation, they soon find that something isn't quite right with Katie's story, and what they discover turns out to be almost as shocking as the report itself. On December 14th, 2020, in Petaluma, California, Katie Sorensen made this call to 911.
Police reporting an emergency?
I suppose so, yes.
What are you reporting?
I was just at the Michaels here in Petaluma, and a couple tried to kidnap my children.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We pulled into Michaels, we're getting out of the car, and a couple was parked in front of us. They followed us into the store, followed us throughout the store, followed us through checkout. We're on the phone right behind us. I heard them making comments about my children's hair color and eyes, and I thought it was just to be polite. I walk out to my car. There's a large white van.
There were two people who did this?
Yes, it was a couple, but then there was a third person that was in the white van.
Let me get your name and phone number.
Okay, my name is Katie Sorensen.
Okay, I've got an officer. He's going to go check the parking lot of Michael, see if we can locate that van.
After receiving this unnerving 911 call, Officer McGovern and his trainee meet Katie outside of the police station to get her story, starting with how the couple had supposedly followed her and her two young children into the store from the parking lot.
They were kind of suspicious. They were watching me. I took a while to get out of the car because I had a stroller. They followed me throughout the entire store, every aisle I went down, got in line right behind me. We're talking on the phone, and they were I wasn't listening to everything they said, but they did say blonde hair, blue-eyed, boy, girl. They were talking about my kids, I think.
Okay.
The lady in front of me could kind of sense they were being off. They were just getting really close and just kind of saying weird things.
Okay.
And then she let me get in front of her. I checked out. They should have taken a while because they were another person behind me.
Yeah.
Although Katie might not realize it, what she tells the officer next will later come back to haunt her, as her story hinges on this one unsettling detail.
They must have put their stuff down. They just followed me right out to the car. I called my husband, and we have a code word, so I said it, and he's just stayed on the phone with me until I got the kids out. They were walking in circles around my car first, and then as I was buckling my daughter in, they came up to the stroller, did one circle around the stroller, saw that I was watching them, and I don't know why I got too scared to say something to them, so I saw an old man behind them, and he was looking, and we just made eye contact. I said, "Excuse me, could you help me lift this?" And he was an older man, so he must have had a caretaker or something.
Yeah.
They both came over and helped me and stayed with me until I left.
They were all in on it
this
together.
Isn't terrifying enough, what Katie describes next is like something out of a horror film.
And then, so where did the people go?
So they got into their car. This was another big part. When I walked up, I knew what was happening because there was a white van parked right next to my car with the slider door right close, so they could have just put them in that white van.
Okay.
That's my assumption.
So the only thing you heard them say is possibly a description of your two kids, or you and your two kids?
Yeah, that's the only thing that was weird, but then they were circling my
when she says she has a code word, you know what I think of when I think of a code word is the amount of people who will be like, yo, what the fuck, what did you just say? Right? Because if your code word's not that good, or it's not like in with the conversation, it's like, man, I really want a pickled egg right now. I'd be like, what the fuck you mean you want a pickled egg right now, man? Wait, you think we got pickled eggs? You know, I'd probably say something like that if or something, but I think you really got to be careful when you're coming up with a code word, because it could really be like burnt chicken. What, like, we're reading a book right now. Why are you talking about burnt chicken?
stroller and the car van that was parked wasn't their vehicle. They were in a different one.
Okay.
And so whoever was in the van,
You really got to plan ahead. That's the van.
Then as those people
the
were
van.
walking over to me, he got back in.
My bad.
I made eye contact with him. And
he was the guy with the rimmed glasses that you described. Did they? But so outside of proximity, did they communicate with each other? Or are you just assuming they were?
I'm just assuming they were.
When asked for a description of the couple's car, Katie tells the officer that she couldn't make out much due to the glare of the sun. However, she was able to see that it was a four-door compact vehicle that was dark in color. Katie was, however, able to get a good look at the couple.
If you were presented photos of any of these people, would you be able to recognize them?
Yes. Just because I was looking at them, because I was trying to disregard my feelings and try to make conversation. Maybe I was just being crazy, so I kept looking right at them to see if they would talk to me, and they wouldn't make eye contact.
What were the descriptions of the two females? Were the two ladies?
No, it was a male and a female.
Were the two people following you?
The male and the female were two people following.
Okay, yeah, so what the best description you can recall?
The male he had darker skin tone, maybe Hispanic. He was wearing a black hoodie that said Black Lives Matters.
Oh, shit.
Graffiti all around it. The mask he was wearing was one of those it's just a pullover, like a ski.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, like a gator.
Got him.
He had a shaved head.
Describe the female again.
She was
you guys want to see it?
Had reddish hair, but it was more of like box dyed. It wasn't natural red. She had on a blue mask that had some sports team. I didn't see the logo. I don't recall what she was wearing.
Okay. So blue mask, red hair. I mean, that'll stand out.
Yeah. I mean, this and the nice. They're just kind of rough looking. Like, I don't know if that.
That's fine. Yeah.
In a video posted to her Instagram page, Katie would later describe what happened and what she thought of their appearance.
Monday of this week, my children were the targets of attempted kidnap.
I definitely felt the heebie-jeebies. I didn't feel good, but I thought I was judging a book by its cover. They were not
Does the Black Lives Matter hoodie?
That sounds bad, but they weren't.
Maybe
they
not.
Weren't clean-cut individuals.
With a description of the couple now established, Officer McGovern searches for a possible motive.
And they were on the phone with somebody giving the descriptions.
I don't know if they were on the phone. I didn't turn around to see if they were talking.
You just
to someone
overheard
else.
them.
I just heard, and it was very weird context. Like, it didn't.
And then I guess are you or your husband, I mean, like, important people for some reason?
What if the safe word was safe word?
We're gonna take your kids and hold them to ransom.
I might be biased. My kids are very good looking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. My son has special needs, so he's nonverbal.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as someone like seeking out us, no.
Yeah. Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
Okay. That's bizarre. And these people, well, you said they look rough looking, and your children are this
Good
didn't seem like
looking.
a recruiter or something for
Oh.
like a modeling agency. They weren't like
Oh my God.
two very attractive kids and did anything. They would have said something to you most likely.
They're just trying to.
Just try. Okay.
As Katie continues to reveal more and more disturbing elements of her story, Officer McGovern tries to piece together some other key details.
Obviously, the suspicious behavior is super weird. The fact that they circled your car, circled the stroller, is bizarre. I mean, I don't necessarily know if it meets the criteria of like attempted kidnapping. But
I don't care to press charge. I'm not. I just want to make people aware so
Yeah.
that it doesn't happen to someone else. Is all.
Yeah, clearly, and that's why we have like 3 people circling the shopping centers over there. So like, what the heck's going on? And then
What?
again, associating the 2 different
What?
vehicles.
You don't call the police to make people aware. The police isn't the fucking news station, all right? You call the police because you want to report a crime or you suspect someone of committing a crime, right? Am I right or wrong about that? You don't call the police because, oh, well, I think this really needs to get out, that blah, blah, blah. Right? It's stupid.
That's just based on a hunch that you think they were associated?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right, not a problem. But the gentleman in the van, aside from making eye contact with them, didn't appear to interact with anybody.
I was on the phone with my husband, like just freaking out.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pay attention to that. I was just trying to get us safe in the car.
What?
They have.
Yeah. What, I mean, and again, you guys obviously have your standard operating procedure. I've never heard of families having a safe word like that. What made you set that up?
We listened to true crime podcasts.
Okay.
Which is silly, but we just always decided that if it was more of if you were in trouble, like yourself. So he didn't even.
I think what's gone on here. Now stay with me. You can envelop yourself. You can listen to so much of something that you can actually make it real, and not make it real in real life, but make it real in your head, like this situation's happening because you've heard it from this and that or whatever. You've heard it from this true crime podcast that these people were doing this and then their kids got kidnapped or whatever. And now you've set up this scenario in your head to make it so in which this happens to you, that you know what's happening, right? So that's what I believe happened. Or this woman's just crazy. And I mean, it is a pretty crazy thing, but it's kind of also like human psychology. If you surround yourself, like, if you surrounded yourself with Honda Accords, and all you looked at was Honda Accords, you would notice more Honda Accords when you went out on the road. It's like the GTA 5 thing. If you're driving around in a Feltzer, you're gonna see way more Feltzers.
Even know what I was talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what's going on? Aren't you at Michael's?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think someone's following us.
Got it.
And so.
Okay.
As the interview comes to a close, Officer McGovern informs Katie of the next steps before they part ways.
We'll keep looking for him, and again, we'll put a BOL out, most likely, it's a dark-colored compact with a possible male Hispanic, and then the description of a white female adult with red hair and a blue mask.
It's broad daylight.
Just to at least contact and sort it out, but again, criminally, it's going to be tough to
Couldn't get the color.
string together what we got. So, okay, well, sorry that happened to you today. That's a very rare occurrence, especially since, you said there were a lot of people at Michael's. It's weird that they would have been that, forthcoming, so.
It was very weird. And like
Couldn't
I
get
said,
the
we listened to crime
color or the
podcasts,
model?
so I try to not go there, but it was that.
Yeah.
Not victim blaming.
All right, I'll let you guys get out of here. All right, well, have a better day. We'll look for these people, okay?
Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
On December 13th, 6 days after speaking to Officer McGovern, Katie posts a 2-part video to Instagram recounting her petrifying
it's Instagram.
experience that day. Soon the videos go viral, receiving more than 4 million views, and Katie's follower count leaps from about 3,000 to over 80,000 followers in just one day. Katie's story is particularly concerning for residents of Petaluma, as the city is home to one of America's most notorious child abductions, the kidnap and murder of 12-year-old Polly Klaas in 1993. Pretty soon, worried parents began calling the Petaluma Police Department, and the following day, on December 14th, Officer McGovern, along with Detective Yeager, head to Katie's house to confront her with some surprising new developments.
So it sounds like the initial statement that you gave Officer McGovern was a lot different than what you had posted on Instagram, and that's why we're here. Okay? Because what you posted on Instagram is pretty concerning to us. So if this couple is out there,
what is she
attempting
doing
to
with her
steal children,
child?
right?
Why is
We
she?
need to get all the details that we can.
She about that fucking.
So we were able to go to
Throw it or
Michael's
something?
today and
What-
pull up the video
What's she
surveillance
doing with
footage from
this?
that. So there's just some clarifying stuff that. So I want to show you a couple photos just to make sure we're talking about the same people.
Yeah.
If you're willing to look
Yes,
at them.
of course. Yes.
After positively identifying the couple, Detective Yeager presents Katie with her findings, subsequently flipping the investigation into the attempted kidnapping on its head.
So on the video footage, this couple actually is in the struggle for about 5 minutes.
Both of them?
Yeah. And so we watched them. We watched them through on the video footage throughout the store, and they're not following you. That you guys just happened. The only time you guys come back together is when you're in checking out. They come back. They actually have product items with them. So before we blast their photos out, right, to the media to be on the alert, I want to make sure that you're accurate, and I'm not disheartening what you're telling me.
No.
I just want to make sure that because what you're telling us and what we're
What
seeing
are
from
you
the video
doing with the
surveillance, they
kid?
don't match.
And I think I'm
What?
so glad that this happened because I think this is an important
Put him down.
I don't know if you were the officer, I can't remember.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
The fuck is wrong with this kid?
You know,
It's a lot of work.
yeah, this is my special needs bed.
She's cute.
So when you're in a situation like that and you're on high alert,
Absolutely.
you think you're hearing things, you think you know what's happening. So this is an important step that I think.
Awesome.
So I am not like trying to stick to my story or whatever like that.
I mean, it's like if these people are out here doing what you're saying they're doing.
No, the point still stands. What the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Yeah.
Our next step is going forward with this. Is one, prosecuting them, right?
Yeah.
And two, making sure this doesn't happen again. At the same time, we need to make sure that these people are in fact the people that you saw.
Yeah.
And they're doing what you were saying that they did. Because nobody wants to accuse somebody falsely, right?
Exactly, and that's why I'm a little discouraged of the fact that that isn't the same person that I saw in the parking lot if they were in there before me.
So you just looked at the photo and you said you were definitely sure.
I'm 100% sure that that's them.
Okay.
Yo, put the child inside. This is. Yeah.
Just as the heat is starting to
Fucking
turn
hell.
up, Katie takes a pause to settle her son, granting her a momentary reprise from Detective Yeager's uncomfortable line of questioning. A few moments later, Katie's husband arrives home.
Oh, your dad, I'm assuming.
Hi.
This is my husband, Dave.
Very cute kids, Dave. Very
Yep.
cute.
Yeah, they are. Katie, people are trying to call you.
Yeah,
I know you're busy, but just...
I didn't realize. Sorry, you probably won't leave me alone, so as long as
That's
it's
fine.
okay with
No,
you.
absolutely. So anyway, back to this. We want to make sure that because we are going to put their pictures out on media, if these are the people that you in fact said were doing that, and they reached for the stroller and you thought they were going to kidnap you, these are important things that we.
Yeah, that part, without a shadow of a doubt, that is what was happening. There is no.
Oh my
There
God.
is absolutely no rhyme or reason.
I feel like I'm
to
on a
someone
fucking
taking steps
airplane with
forward
this
and
kid.
that is
Jesus
without a shadow of a
Christ.
doubt. I can see how the timing of following.
Yeah.
The timing of following in, I can see how that could have been.
Stop crying
misinterpreted.
immediately, by the way.
Do you remember what they were saying to you?
They didn't say anything to me.
Okay.
They were talking about the kids. They were describing their features.
Okay.
And then they said they made comments about him not wearing a mask. I didn't listen clearly to everything that they were saying, but they were saying blonde hair, blue eyes.
It'd be easy to distract.
Yeah,
It'd be easy
one
to...
yeah, they were just saying like things. Usually, what I was expecting at first was I thought they were going to make comment to that my kids were wearing masks, so that was where my head was at. And so I wasn't really listening in detail. I just heard my kid the first time that I heard them talking.
At this very moment, Katie has just backtracked on something she said in one of her Instagram videos.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't hear a single word she was saying. I was like, holy shit. Holy shit, I don't want to sound like an asshole here. Is my mic on? I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but yo, tell these fucking kids to stop crying. Why are they crying like that? They're at home. They're in their parents' arms. The fuck?
Both encounters with the
Oh. Maybe it is because he has developmental problems. Maybe that is the reason he's doing that. I don't know.
police, Katie makes it clear that she didn't hear the man speak much. However, she told her followers that after the couple described her children's features, she claims she then heard the man say,
The boy will be easier because he's not wearing a mask, so the mom must not really care about him.
It's hard. I want to be.
No, I want you to take your time.
I really do want to be 100% sure because I do not want to falsely.
No.
Anything.
No.
As the awkward conversation continues, Katie finally acknowledges what brought the police back to speak with her.
Like this whole Instagram thing, yesterday had 3,000 followers, mostly friends, people I went to school with. Like, I did not think that this was going to be anything at all.
We're getting calling us because they live in Helena because now they're afraid of their children, which is one step. So we either want to reassure them that we're doing everything we can to find them, or we're just like we're trying to give you justice and to do the right thing here. At the same time, there's a lot of eyeballs watching what's happening.
So 100% they reached for my stroller. 100% they were saying things that they shouldn't have been saying about my kids. 100% they circled my car towards the end.
It should be noted that this is now the third time Katie has told officials that the couple circled her car. First to dispatch in her initial 911 call, then to Officer McGovern when he met her outside the police station, and now to Detective Yeager. Despite her claims that the couple 100% circled her car, she described the incident to her followers on Instagram differently.
And they walk around, not the full perimeter, but half of the car. They go back.
Oh, only half the car.
Half of my car.
They were parked closer to Michael's. They had no reason to go 3 cars beyond their own car to walk around my wife's car. You know what I mean? That's what's really...
And that is I will testify, that is what happened. One thing that I have felt like I don't have 100%, and when people ask me, I say I don't really know, is the white van. It very well could have just been coincidental that someone was in a van right behind me.
Although small, this is another discrepancy in her story.
It was right behind her. I thought it was right next to her. I thought it was parked,
Perhaps sensing Detective Yeager's skepticism, Katie's husband chimes in to back her up.
You tell them details you went to the very back
this is really sus.
to get your spray paint, and they followed you.
So they watched the footage, and this couple didn't come in. It's not the same couple that came in at the same time as me.
These people that she's saying that followed her out were already in the store 5 minutes before. We watched them throughout the store, and they don't come on surveillance. They don't come anywhere near her until everybody's in line. And these people in line have product picked up. So that's why we drove out. We're trying to call her to kind of clarify some of this.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. The kids, I really didn't have my... And I've been trying not to look at it because it's too much for me right now.
Yeah, I don't...
This is all our property, so okay. Yeah.
So, would you recognize these two if you saw them again? If we were to do a photo lineup, would you recognize them again?
Yeah.
Okay. And willing to go forward with prosecution? Yes. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with these people. We're probably going to put this out on some social media, see if some people can help us. And then Officer McGovern will contact you at a later date when we have a photo lineup. Maybe you can come down to the station to view that.
Okay. I don't want to misrepresent what has happened. I do
Well,
think
let's
it's
prosecute
important for moms, parents to be aware, but I don't, it makes me a little uneasy that you guys are getting blown up about this. I mean, I think it's important, but I don't want to, I guess I'm feeling doubt that I misremembered the story, and I don't want to misrepresent what happened and make it a bigger
I don't know.
For my personal, it's like if I am a victim of something like this, I would want to trust us, right? That we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I would like to trust the police department that we're going to do the right thing.
Yes.
Or I don't know if, and this is just me, I don't know if I would want my stuff blasted over video.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that makes you feel. It would make me feel uneasy.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes it harder for us to find them and prosecute them when it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It just does. It's kind of like, I don't mean to say this, but the O.J. Simpson thing. It was so blasted everywhere, right?
It's like the
They
O.J.
had a hard
Simpson
time finding
case.
a town that they could prosecute it. They could get 12 jurors that didn't know anything about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this doesn't help us when it goes out, when it gets blasted like this.
I mean, yeah, that's what I don't want. I care more about them not doing this again. I care more about like parents being more aware, but I don't think it's necessary for everybody to know all the details of everything. So I guess that was just, you answered my question, was to just keep that. I did turn off all the comments and I'm not accepting anymore.
Oh, she stopped
After
accepting
Detective
followers.
Yeager warns her of the possible repercussions of posting more about the case on social media.
I mean, what were you posting on social media for? To get it out there? Okay, well, that's what you did. But it's too much. Okay. It sounds like a big you problem, though. Like a huge you problem.
Katie then goes inside to get her phone so she can show them a message she received from someone online telling her that something similar happened to them in the Michaels parking lot.
Okay, let's go to
While the
Reddit then.
detective
Let's see
looks at the
fucking
message,
500,000.
Officer
Like,
McGovern has one
what?
more serious issue with Katie's story to point out as they prepare to leave.
So did you go right from Michael's back to your car?
Yeah.
The man did
Follow
exit the
me.
store quickly behind you, but the woman remained in the store for almost a minute, chit-chatting with the clerk. She was trying to make a sale. She was scanning something on her phone. I'm assuming that was like a receipt or a coupon. Yeah, so she remained in the store and was making transactions. That's why I'm trying to see if you recall both of them following you out to their car, at what point they linked back up.
The hand in hand, I didn't visually see that until they were walking around my car. So they weren't walking hand in hand behind me out of the store.
Okay.
Because I was so like just trying to get to the car, I didn't turn around and look. I just felt behind me. I just felt
there was some presence.
Yes, and then getting to my car and seeing them do that is.
So, but the last time you saw them, they were inside the store, and then upon exiting, they were also both together. It wasn't just the guy or just the girl. It was both of them were linked back up at that point.
Yeah, at the point.
let me not misrepresent the question that was asked.
If you recall both of them following you out to their car, at what point they linked back up?
The hand in hand, I didn't visually see that until they were walking around my car.
Walking around my car. Gotcha.
So they weren't walking hand in hand behind me out of the store.
Okay.
Because I was so like just trying to get to the car, I didn't turn around and look. I just felt.
There was no question asked to make her say this anyways. So if you're going to file a police report and you say to the officer, you say, well, I felt this presence. I felt a presence behind me. Oh, well, you didn't actually. I felt a presence like someone was stealing things in my store. They were stealing things out of my store, and I felt that presence. If you say that to the police, they should laugh at you. They should sit there and laugh at you and make remarks. They should, but you know,
behind
whatever.
me, I just
There was some presence.
Yes, and then getting to my car and seeing them do that is.
So, but the last time you saw them, they were inside the store, and then upon exiting, they were also both together. It wasn't just the guy or just the girl. It was both of them were linked back up at that point.
Yeah, at the point that I, with without a shadow of doubt saw them. Yes, they were
Okay.
both together. And there is no excuse. I would love to hear if there is a one for taking a few steps forward towards the stroller, a few steps back, a few
Yeah.
steps forward. And I saw he had something in his hand, because that was my first red flag. Is why are they holding hands? Like what?
He was carrying a phone the whole time he was in the store, so that's probably, I don't know why he would have changed his behavior in the parking lot.
Okay.
But that's what he was. And then when she left the store, she was carrying a bag of belongings.
After this uncomfortable exchange has concluded, Detective Yeager gives Katie her card and leaves with Officer McGovern. In an effort to corroborate Katie's story, the Petaluma Police Department issued a press release which included a photograph of the couple, asking for anyone with information to come forward. The couple, later identified as Eddie and Sadie, were made aware of the accusations by their teenage daughter, whose friend recognized them in the photo. The two promptly agreed to an interview with police, and 3 days later, on December 17th, it was announced that Sadie and Eddie were officially cleared as suspects, and that police were now investigating Katie. Katie Sorensen was charged with 3 counts of falsely reporting a crime, and on June 29, 2023, she was convicted on one of those counts. She was subsequently ordered to serve 90 days in jail, 60 of which could be served on a work release program, and she was required to complete a 4-hour implicit bias training. She was also placed on 12 months of informal probation, where she was prohibited from having a social media presence and ordered to submit to warrantless search and seizure of her electronic devices.
Damn. Good. You can't just false report people just because you think they're gonna do something. You can't.